Real talk, be real with me. Have you ever dreaded your birthday? Or maybe not dreaded your birthday, but dreaded the upcoming year? That was me for years, for several years, but not this year. All right, my birthday was a little over a week ago, and for the first time in a long time, I was not dreading it. I'll say for a couple weeks leading up to it, I won't say I was super excited, but I was definitely not necessarily dreading it, right? And as the day grew closer, I got excited because I had big plans for the weekend, and I'll show you some of those plans in a few seconds. Here's the thing. Because I've been going through so much, I've been a bit angry at God because, and those of you who know what I'm talking about, you can feel me when I say this. For the last several years, as my birthday approached, I was very disappointed as I looked at where I was in life, and I was very discouraged as I looked ahead. Because when you are not where you want to be at a certain point in your life, you start thinking about the time that is past and the time that's left. And as you get older, the time that's left grows shorter and shorter and shorter. And that is not cool, especially when God has made promises that you have not seen come to pass. And that's where I've been for the last several years. As time has gone forward and moved ever so quickly, I have been really asking God, look, am I crazy? Here's another year that's passing. Hey, I'm about halfway through my life and I still haven't seen anything that you promised. And then this year happened. And as I led up to this year, God started dropping some things in my spirit. One of the things that he dropped in my spirit, and I think I've mentioned this in videos before, is that, yeah, he made promises that haven't come to pass, but he's also told me to do some things that I haven't done. So could that be the reason why I haven't seen the promises come to pass? I'm not saying yes, I'm not saying no, but I am saying that I've been disobedient. And that definitely does not help the process. So for the last 3 months, I have really tried to focus on things that God has told me in the past. I've gone through old notebooks, old journals, old letters, to really look at those verses that God has been stressing and repeating over and over again. And I pray that you journal. I pray that you write. I pray that you do something to note where you are in life. Write down those prayers that God has answered and those prayers that you're still waiting on. And so you can kind of see the progress. And so I've been really looking back and trying to understand where I am, what God has done, what God has said. And as I began to do that, and I look back over some past blessings that I disregarded, I realized that God has been faithful. Now, I've known this before, but he really has been faithful. Here's another thing that I realized. God has been replenishing some things. Not necessarily finances, although he has slowly but surely. He's been replenishing friendships, new people in my life, for old friends that either I've lost or not necessarily for bad things, but just time and distance. God has been replacing things with what I need that I didn't know that I needed. This birthday trip was a great example of that. This birthday, I went on an adventure. I went on a ropes course, a high ropes course, like 500 feet in the air with all of these different obstacles to go through. And it taught me a lot about faith. And I went on this trip with 3 other women from this new church that I've been going to, women that I've barely known for a year. One of the women, I just got her phone number earlier this year, and we talk ever so often. The 2 other women, I'm just really now getting to know. And I took a chance and went on this trip. And we had a wonderful time. We started off on the ropes course, but we ended at a waterfall. And at that waterfall, I was able to put my hand on this wall of green and feel this natural thing of nature, water just washing through my hands. And I realized the whole replenishing thing that God has been doing in my life. And so after that, I'll just close out. Sunday, I went on a tea party with some people. It was fun, yay! But I did have a good time. I did have a good time. But and the weekend was beautiful. But here's what I would want you to get out of my birthday. Maybe God needs to replenish something in your life. Maybe there's some stuff in your life that God is dealing with you about, things that you haven't been doing that he's been repeating over and over again, and he wants you to execute it. He wants you to actually do what he says so that you can see the results that he promised. Look back at God's faithfulness and realize that it's not just because he loves you, it's because he wants to grow you. And let him replenish things in your life as you move forward, because God's not through with you yet.
You're saying under it, it's like so nice.